Thank you. There are a couple more chairs up there. If any of you want to make your way there, or chairs will make their way back to you. As Professor Bates was saying, I have two things I want to talk about tonight. One is franchising, and I am not in any way an expert on franchising. I'm speaking as a franchisee and giving you that perspective. So what it's like from the perspective of owning your own business, owning a small business, and dealing with that as a franchisee. And then marketplace ministry, something I feel really strongly about, that especially for you business students, to encourage you that going into business is not a way to fund ministry that you're going to then do through your church or through a parachurch group or whatever like that, but that your work and your career is ministry, and you have opportunities there that are phenomenal as far as sharing your faith and about living out your faith in the workplace. So first, about franchising. A franchise is a business that has a license to sell somebody else's product. And generally, you have some kind of exclusivity in order to do that. In my case, that product's McDonald's. There are a lot of franchises that are, very recognizable, like McDonald's and Subway and stuff like that, but also home businesses that you can franchise. Things like Amway and Mary Kay and things like that are also franchises that you have a license to sell your product. We have a small little company. It's called Constant Rock. And the technical name is Constant Rock DBA McDonald's, doing business as. So we have permission to sell their products and to do things the way that they say. And as Professor Bates indicated, there's a lot of advantages to that, and there are some significant disadvantages to that. And I don't know if any of you are going to end up in franchising or working in as either a franchisee or working for a franchisee in some way, but I just wanted to kind of go over some of those things with you tonight. It's my old school technology. They asked me if I want a PowerPoint. I don't know how to use a PowerPoint, so I still have an overhead. So just making up a chart, pluses and minuses, as to why you'd want to do this. And the first reason that you wouldn't want to be part of a franchisee is the original cost. When I started as an owner of McDonald's, I made out a check to them for $50,000, and in return for that $50,000, they told me that I can put a sign out front that says I'm McDonald's. That's really all they gave me for that $50,000, except for I get to do it for 20 years. The building, any of the equipment in the building, there wasn't a single hamburger bun that came with that or anything else. The only thing that comes with the original cost is permission in order to do in order to do that. And then beyond the original cost, there's ongoing cost. And so that's not the last check I had to make out to them. Every month, I pay them 9% in rent. So unlike if you have an apartment and you're paying $500 a month, and next month you're going to pay $500, and if you get a salary increase, you're still going to pay $500 in rent. That's not the case with me. If I have a month where I gross $100,000, then they get $9,000. But if I have a great month and I make $300,000, then they get $27,000. So as my sales go up, so does my rent cost. And then beyond that, I pay them another 4% as a service fee. Service fee covers everything from them providing me with consulting to the HR department to training, everything, all the services that McDonald's provides to a franchisee. And then I give them another 4% in advertising. So if I was just Dave's Hamburger and Chicken Shop, and it was a slow month, maybe I would decide I'm not going to advertise this month. I don't have that option. Regardless of what kind of month I have, they still get 4% that goes towards advertising. And some of that is the big national advertising. Some of it is spent locally. My local co-op is Central New York, which is just a little from Hornell over to till you get to Utica, is the market that I operate in. So every month they're going to get 17% no matter what. And one of the things that franchisees complain about is that the company makes money no matter what. So if it costs me $1 to make a double cheeseburger and I sell it to you for $1, I didn't make any money. McDonald's still made 17 cents. So there's a lot of time pressure from the franchisor to get you to push dollars, to push prices lower and things like that, because they're getting paid from off the top line, not from off the bottom line. And then the last reason, disadvantage of franchising, is freedom. When I agree to be a McDonald's franchisee, they provide the standards that I'll operate my business by. So for instance, maybe I feel like the coffee would be better if it was a little hotter. I don't have the option of just cranking that up. You know what could happen if that happens. So they provide the standards of how I run my business. They also, my menu is limited to what they say I can sell. So I don't have the option locally of saying I want to put a nice fruit bowl out there so people can buy an apple, or I can't say that I'd like to sell pizza or something like that. I agree that I'll limit my menu to what they say my menu's got to be. And then the third thing is that they approve virtually every supplier that I can buy from. So again, if I want to get new headsets for my people in drive-thru, I can't just go down to Radio Shack and find the best headsets and hook those up to my system. McDonald's will say you can buy from these six suppliers, and here's their telephone numbers, and then I can work out my best deal with the 6 of them. But I don't have the freedom to just go out and kind of work my best deal. When I first bought the McDonald's, somebody who had owned it years before was before that time, and they used to buy their eggs locally. And the farmer who sold them the eggs would always come back around to me and say, "Won't you buy my eggs? I'll give you a good price," whatever. I said, "No, I can't. I gotta buy them only from McDonald's source." So there would be the accusation that a real entrepreneur would never be a franchisee, and I'd say that's, you know, in my case, certainly guilty of that. Is that I don't have that, you know, renegade, risk-taking kind of personality. I do very well as a franchisee running a system that's provided for me, and McDonald's is happy with me because of that, and I can flourish within that system. But I don't have those great creative thoughts that goes out there and creates my own system. So for me, it works well. For somebody else, it would really, you know, it would sort of be like fingernails against a chalkboard for them to be a franchisee, because they just wouldn't be comfortable with it. So you say, with all that, why would I do it at all? Well, there are a few benefits as well. The first being the one that the professor mentioned is just the power of the brand. In my case with McDonald's, the Golden Arches is one of the most recognized symbols, corporate symbols in the world. The Big Mac is the most recognized sandwich in the world. Ronald McDonald is the third most recognized fictional character in the world. And Connie never knew until just now that Ronald was a fictional character, so sorry, bud. Anybody know who number 1 and number 2 are? Not King Arthur? Mickey Mouse is number 1. Santa Claus is number 2. Every now and then, Ronald passes Santa, you know, sometimes when they do these surveys. Oops, 0 for 2. So regardless of whatever your personal